for women in Laos, and Ms. Kobayashi Fumie, the founder and designer of CALICO in Nara and New Delhi, to share with us their experiences. Ms. Chanthasone established the Huihong Vocational Training Center for Women in Laos to empower rural women by offering them textile-related trainings and to revise the traditional crafts of Laos. She has been involved in various exhibitions of Laotian textiles across the world. Ms. Chanthasone, please.
Good afternoon. I'm Mrs. Chanthasone Inthavong, originated from Laos, but now I'm living in Tokyo. I have been coming to study in Tokyo since 1974, before the revolution of Laos. When I was young, I loved to wear Laos skirts, but my parents said no. Why? Because I was too teeny, not like now. When you wear the skirt, you will become like, much, very, very, very teeny. So my father, he used to buy me skirts, very beautiful one, but I still want to wear it. When I go to my grandparents' house, I saw the loom. I said, I want to do the weaving. My father said, no, you can't study. You have to study. For the one who cannot study, they will weave. He said something like that. I said, oh, but I like to do. But I never allowed to do it. But I still love the weaving. After I came to Japan, I have many chances to go to the museum, to see arts, everything that make me think about Laos. Laos, no museum. No one collect the material during that time. So in 1979, after I came to Japan, I went back for the first time to Laos. I was so surprised to see many weaving. Normally in Vientiane, the weaving, the sin, the Laos skirt, we say sin. The sin is very, not colorful, very humble. Only the border, we only use to change the border, maybe the big design or the small design or something like that, but not colorful. But when I went back in 1979, I saw many, many different weaving. So I started to collect it. After I went back many times, I saw that in Laos, they don't have school to teach weaving. They have the private one. They have the private atelier. But at the atelier, they will keep everything secret. They don't want to tell you. So I want to do something. That's why in 1998, I established the Vocational Huihong Vocational Training Center to enforce or to implement the Lao girls, Lao women from the rural area who has no work to do. In Laos, no supermarket where women can go to do the part-time. No supermarket. But when they do the agriculture or something like that, they will go to the side of the road and stay there to sell to the people who drive pass by. Very seldom they can get client, but they still sit on the side road, the roadside, to sell. Yes, that's why I want them to make money. Why to make money? Because in the rural area, the children cannot go to school. They don't have money. The mother have to go to work in the rural area, and the girl normally have to take care of the brothers and sisters. So if the mother can earn more, she can let the girl to go to school, but not like the men. In Laos, the men love drinking. When they get the money, they will drink almost all. The money doesn't reach the family. That's why I want the girl or the woman to earn money by making the weaving. Sure, in Laos, all house has loom, but they do with the thread which dye with the chemical one. That's why when the buyer come to the village to buy the products, they will buy very cheap because they know the price of the thread. They know that they can do how many days or something like that. So they will give very, very low price. And the girls, the ladies, they don't know how to calculate their labor. Maybe they do only part-time, how to say, they have the spare time at night or in the morning or in the dry season, they will do it. So that they don't add how many hours to make this, how many days to make this. They don't know how to calculate it. So when the buyer come, they buy the product very cheaply. If you don't sell it, you cannot get money to buy a new thread. So they have to sell. And sometimes if you go to the market, you can see many women will bring the products, come to sell to the shop. And the shop said, no, it's not good like this. They will say something because they want you to sell very cheap. But the lady, if they want to sell, they will go to many, many shops, but almost the same. So they have to sell very cheaply. But some, they can do and sell to their friends, so they can get the good price when they sell to their friends. That's why I think that if they do with the chemical one, they cannot get the good price. If they do with the natural dye, which is not so popular now, but foreigners or the high-rank people would like to buy, so they can sell higher. When I went to the rural area where we teach the natural dye, they also perform to show us. Then they get the material from the mountain or from the wood. They do the dyeing for many times. I think that it was already finished. But after we have break, they said they have to do something more. What are you going to do? When we asked that, they said, we have to put on the chemical color. If they don't put the chemical dyeing, the color is very humble, not vivid. That's why the buyer don't want to have it. It's a big problem in Laos. So we need to make a lot of training and also to teach them what to do with the natural dye. From now, I want to show you the Lao textile. In Lao textile, we have many, many techniques of weaving. Like in this picture is the continuous supplement weaving. It means that you just, the shuttle, you just put the shuttle from right to left to right, only something like that. But the pattern had been set before weaving. Yes. Laos, as I told you, there are so many, many minorities. Now the government accept 49 minorities. Some are very good in weaving, some are very good in embroidery, and also some are good in knitting. They knit with the binary. Kuzu. It's kuzu in Japan. In Japanese, it's a kuzu. The potato, we can eat it. But with the stem, yeah. It's very difficult to do the thread also. But the women, Kamu or Aka tribe, they do it. They will do a spin, the thread, when they walk to the, what's that? When they walk to the rice wheel, and also knitting, walking to the rice wheel with the baby on the back, and they do. The ladies are very powerful. They do everything by themselves. Like in this photo, you can see many kinds of sin. Oh, it's women's sin. But some sin are for shaman, like the downstairs, on the bottom. These sin are made for the shaman. When they have ceremonies, the men will wear it. And also when the parents die, they will wear for the funeral. But now we wear normally. It's not really strict like before. And upstairs, on the top, you have also tamuk and ikat or something like that. Laos ikat is only on the web, not in the wrap. It's different from the ikat, Japanese ikat or Indonesian ikat. It's different, yeah. This one made in my center. We use the natural dye. Or this one is dye. It dyed from the lac, the small insect living in the tree. So we don't use the insect. We use the nest, which is already dry. So we don't kill the insect. Because when I say we die from the lac, we say, you kill the insect? No, we don't kill. We use the nest. This one is dyed from indigo, but it's different from the Indian indigo. It's the Liu Q indigo, Liu QI. Yes, it's the very slow plant that we use to ferment and do it. Yes. In the center, we will teach from doing the wrapping, the wrap. Before they don't know how to calculate, so when they want to have 5 or 10 meters, something like that, of the same design, they cannot calculate how long can they do. So they will weave, and then no more pattern. So they will use another pattern. But now we will teach them how to calculate, to do. In Japan, one person can do everything together, but in Laos, everybody come to help. Because they have to make more than 3,000 or something string. And after that, they have to tie with the meter. Yes, to make the wrap. And after that, we do the wrap with the many color, or dye with the natural dye. in Laos, as I said, that they have so many kinds of weaving. They will do the weaving, start from watching the old one. In Laos, we don't have catalog. We don't have catalog of weaving. We need the old one to reproduce. That's why I collect it, to show them what to do. If they don't have the old one, they cannot do it. But the girls are very, very smart. When they see somebody wearing a skirt, they say, oh, I like this one. So they go back and do it by themselves. They have the computer in their mind, but they cannot calculate only. Yeah. This one, they will see the pattern, and they will count on the loom, one by one. It takes a lot of time to do. Not everybody can do. The one who can do, we do for another one. Sometimes we do from the photo. When we take photo or in the book, do, and they will count the numbers of threads. This one too. They do, they start with the no color, but after that they will put the color. This one is quite difficult one, the tamuk. This design is from the Samnua, Thai Dang, red Thai, or white Thai, who are very good in weaving. They have so many type of design to do. In front of her, it was, how to say, the design of the bottom. She has many, many bamboo to remind. Maybe in Japan or in the foreign country, they have the punch card with hole. But in Laos, they will remember all with the bamboo. It depends on the number of the thread. If the it won't need to have many bamboo. They can use maybe 20 or 40, something like that. They can do it. But some design, normally the weaving is symmetric. When you weave to the half, and then you reweave the other one. So symmetric one. But some design is not symmetric, like this. From here to here is one pattern. And after that, they will weave here. From here to here, maybe 200. So 200, they can use the bamboo. They will use the string to do it, to make memory. The tamuk, it cannot be seen. Normally, the weaving is made by two dimension. I said 2 dimension, something like that, to weave. But the tamuk have 3 dimension. The under another straight to show that they have a new design made in the loom. Let me see. This one also is the memory of the design. This one is a continuous supplementary web. When they set on the loom, they just weave it. As you see here, it's the design is the very old one. They do the design not exactly exist. It's a meat from the nature or something like that. They will take the design from many kinds. This one also is the discontinuous one, but the colorful one is discontinuous one. It's very similar to China, to Vietnam, because the tribes are from the same, how to say, origin, like Thai. In Vietnam also they have Thai. In Laos also many Thai, and also in China also still many Thai, and Vietnam, Thai, Myanmar also many Thai. That's why the motifs are very similar, but they will take a lot of time to do this. Maybe one day from 8 to 6, they can do only 10 centimeters. It takes a lot of time to do. So this is the Vientiane from my own town. They do only the bottom. From the body, it's very simple one, just a stripe. This one is from the north of Laos. They have many techniques in one scene, like ikat and discontinuous, continuous together. The middle one is the new one. My staff, they design it for the contest in Japan. Yeah. The natural dye, it's quite hard to get the material to dye. Like in Vientiane, we need to buy from others, but we need to buy because when we teach, the rural people, when they come, they can buy, they can find by themselves. All are from natural dye. Yes. The yellow one from Laos, we use jackfruit trunk to do it. And the red, as I told you, that is from black. And the dark color is from Thai ebony. In my center in Laos, they don't use to put in the mud. But people say that if you put in the mud, you can get a black color. But in our center, we dye many times to get black. The green color is from indigo and jackfruit trunk. In the left is luck. And the color we can make a very dark one and light one. And here is the anato seed. You can use to, in Cambodia they used to dye the food, the sweet. But in Laos we just used to dye the silk. Upper part is a kind of leaves. We said the FE, the Bombay. Yes, and in the middle is the indigo, indigo, and in the bottom is the ebony, Thai ebony. It's like persimmon. We fermented and we can get many color. And they have also the red ebony, but very few. Normally, we can get the black one. The color is not, the photo is not so good. In the ebony, become like this. Color sample. Something like this. All are from natural dye. Indigo. We have many indigo pot to dye. It's very. I think it's different from the Japanese one. because we do with the raw leaf. We ferment it with the raw leaf. We give the bacteria osake, Japanese sake, the alcohol. They love alcohol, and also yes, they love alcohol because the bacteria is living. So every day you have to give something. So yeah. The ikat, as I said, that we have only the wrap ikat. We don't have the wrap one, vertical one. We don't have it. This one, the old one, they will use the pattern to make a new one. This one is from my auntie. It's more than 100 years. She did by herself, she said. This one also the same on the wrap. So we have so many techniques to do. Like this one is tapestry weaving. You can see in the front and the back the same pattern. But other weaving on the back is not so, it's different. It's not the same. But the continuous supplementary can be seen both sides. This is also tapestry. Mm-hmm. The tamuk, as I say, they will weave on tamuk. Lai is the third dimension. It's very similar to Japanese weaving too. They have to be very good in making the ikat and to mix with other weaving. So not everybody can do it. Only few. In our center, I have 12 weavers, but only 3 weavers can do it. Others cannot do it. Here, maybe you can see the third dimension. They put the they have to put some stone to make it straight. In Laos, only women wear. The man doesn't wear it. That's why when the minister said, you have to keep our tradition, but they only tell us, when you go to the office, the government office, you cannot wear pants to go for Lao people. If they know that you are Laotian, you cannot accept it. You won't be accepted to the office. You have to wear skirts. That's why the people who are selling goods in the market, when they go to the market to work easily, they will wear pants. But they need to go to the government office, they have to rewear the skirt to go. That's why it's quite, how to say, the men only want to tell the woman to keep the tradition. Yeah, but I think it's our identity. That's why this one is similar to the Vietnamese one, Katu in the south of Laos. They speak very similar to Cambodia, very similar. They did not have chance to study, they cannot write. But they see the American plane come to bomb them, they can do it in the, they make the design with that. And after that, when they study, they will put the letters on the weaving. It's very difficult, but they do it. It cannot be kept. They have to do like slogan or something like that. They will do in it. I'm so sorry that I cannot speak all. Just 1 minute. This one is the royal embroidery. Before 1925, Laos has kingdom, was a kingdom. So the ladies, the princess, they have to do by themselves. They use the Chinese silk and embroider on it. But now, the culture, we do this for the collar. When they have the wedding, they will wear something like this. So I have many things to show you. This one also, in Laos, they love to wear with the silver or gold thread, but they have to import it from India or from France. So it takes a lot of money to do. That's why I promote to do only with the silk. But the silk, now, we cannot get in Laos. We have to use the Vietnamese silk, Thai silk, and Chinese silk. So it's quite difficult because the wage is very low, so people don't want to do. They will buy the cheap one from China. Yes, that's a big problem. How to prevent is very difficult. But fortunately, in Laos, we still wear. Even the government want us to prevent the tradition, but I don't think that only the order to prevent, we prevent, but it's our identity. So it's very similar to other countries, but we still keep it as our identity. Thank you so much.
So thank you very much. Next, we have Ms. Kobayashi Fumie to share with us her experience. Fumie founded CALICO in Nara and Japan in New Delhi, where she has been researching textile design and history since 2010. She promotes the arts and craft of the village fabrics at workshops held in Japan and other countries. Fumie, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Fumie Kobayashi, founder and the designer of CALICO, the art of Indian village fabrics. And I'm so glad to be here and standing in front of all of you. And thanks to all the chat team inviting me. And this is a great opportunity for me to know how we are sharing the great value of the textile, and now I'm exploring the lot of interesting connection point with every textiles from all over the world, and that is what I really wanted to do, and I'm really glad to be here to do with you, and I have a tendency to move when I'm speaking, so can I get the mic? So, thank you. Yes, and so everyone knows about CALICO, the word CALICO. CALICO is a very universal term representing the cotton textiles, especially from India. And so I put that name, CALICO, to my company activity and as well as a brand. And because I try to represent such, universal context to the textiles, to the world. And I'm staying India and New Delhi, India and Japan, and traveling both countries. And I founded CALICO in 2012, and so developing the new tradition in collaboration with the local artisans, and try to take back the tradition and the sensibility toward the fabrics, which we've been lost for more than so many decades, almost 100 years back, we lost. At that time, we had so great sensibility, like through the kimono, so one of our tradition, Japanese tradition. So even the kids, even the gents can understand what is the material. Oh, this is a ramen mix. This is a cotton mix. And what is proper for this season, this occasion? Such sensibilities, but we've been lost for many decades. So thanks to the Indians, artisans, great work, so we are trying back that kind of things. So, and maybe everyone has the question why I'm here and what brought me to the world of Indian fabrics, because I'm Japanese. And, as you may know, the Indian textile is really, really universal, and it's not a nationalistic thing. So today, I want to give you the presentation regarding the world of Indian textiles from my perspective. So it's very broad, and no one can represent entire world of Indian textiles. But I really want to give a glimpse of it. So, and so this question. So why I'm in India? So one is my grown place, Nara. Nara is the ancient capital of Japan. It's oldest, before Kyoto. Kyoto everyone knows, but no one knows Nara, right? And so Nara is considered the destination place of the Silk Route, and that's also no one knows. Only Nara people knows. So, and so when I was a kid, I looked a lot of good textiles, and many are influenced by Iranian, Persian, so Persian culture, and but later on I found many are produced in India, not in Persia or Iran. So and I started thinking, so what's happening in India then? And the second thing is my maybe family, my blood. So my grandparents are both engaged in textiles. So, and my auntie was a textile designer when 60s and 70s and at the Silk Corporation, and she drew a lot of paisley patterns. So it's representing the time, right? And that also influenced me. And the third thing is my career. So I studied journalism at my college, and I worked in the media industry in my 20s, and in my 30s, I was in the management consulting. So nothing related to textile at that time, and but I have a big passion and interest toward India and the textile. So I became the India market expert in the company, and also I was sort of leadership on the social business, social development kind. So, and I started traveling to India and visited the villages. Then I found a lot of beautiful activities still happening in the local villages. And the colors of the fabric, colors of saris, kantas. Kanta is the stitched fabrics. It's really, really fascinated me. And at that time, I engaged in the energy project, like renewable energy, solar power, solar lantern kind. So, and so same time, I'm always checking the fabrics in the villages. Then I started studying about Indian textile history, and came to know this Mahatma Gandhi's quote, Kadi is the son of the village solar system. And the planets are the village industries, and which support to the Kadi for the heat, in return for heat and sustenance. And without it, the village industries cannot work. And to utilize the villagers' time efficiently, so Kadi need to be made. So such quote. So I'm so much impressed by this. And I use this quote and analogy to implement the solar system, solar power, solar energy. So Gandhi said this in 20th century, but in 21st century, maybe we can implement the solar system, and using the solar power, we can implement the energy to the villages, and we can develop a new business in the village. That's we try to promote. But same time, I doubted. Only with energy, it's very difficult to do, to implement the new business. And I felt very useless. And Indian villagers, Indian people just expect me to bring the fund from Japan. You know, so that kind of thing can be done, anyone. No need to be me. Why I need to be in India, taking a lot of risk? So I start thinking to do something with village fabrics, village textiles. So I started CALICO. And so Indian textile, as you may know, and mostly you are the textile experts, right? So I don't need to spend a lot of time to explain what is that or about its history, but maybe few are not knowing much, so I try to give you some So, yes, yes, BC 5,000 to 3,000. So production of cotton has started. And from Indus Valley, the Mohenjo-daro, so the fragments of mother died was found. And this evidence being found from the valley, and the historian Herodotus told about the tree of cotton, and so it's described that picture. And also the oldest written text in India, Veda, described about the cotton fabrics. So India has such long history of cotton textiles. Of course, India is not the original place for cotton. There's a lot of original place like South Africa or South America and Central Asia, but India is the one. And so Greek people and Roman people came to India to look for the muslin fabrics. So muslin is a very, very fine cotton and very, very light material, like what I'm wearing now. So super fine cotton and thinner than this at the time. And it was called Vientiane textile. And that means the weaving wind, right? So, and for that purpose, so a lot of Roman people came to India and constructed the road and the bridges. And it's become the fundamental infrastructure even today. And from this, India became the nation. So it structures a nation. And so I can't use this now. Point. Yes. It's okay. No. I want to use a pointer. Yes, sorry. It's okay. So, and in the Ajant Cave, there's already seen the tie-dye. They call bandani, so shibori, and also ikat. So, and also sea trail between China, Japan, and so these things happen in that era. And so this is sorry, picture is not really good. I corrected urgently. And this is a bandani, so which is called shibori in many places. But I asked the local artisan, to stop using the word shibori, because many people consider they are inspired by Japanese shibori, but they have an origin. They also have an origin, and it is called bandani. It's the original technique of the bandana. So, and recently I started a project to revitalize real bandana with these bandani artisans. So, and below, this is also a kind of bandana, bandani, and this is lahelia, so wave. And that one is ikat, and so many people refer about ikat today, and also there's an original place in India, Gujarat, called Patla, and they are doing the great double ikat, and they are matching warp and weft very, very carefully. They are always really proud of that. And when they are talking about other places, ikat like Japan, they said, "Oh, you are unmatching." So, but we appreciate that unmatching things. And below was is mosring and jamudani. And jamudani is the weft, so supplement weaving. So like the previous presentation mentioned about. So, and what happened next is, so there's a lot of influence from the Islamic world, and triggered by the expansion of Mongol Empire. A lot of Persian artisans came to India and settled. And it's really, really changed the entire culture of India. So today we have the ajrak like this. So many people think this is very Indian, right? But it's a very Persian originally. And so these kind of things started. And by the empire, so the artisan studios applauded, and it was called Karnas. It's those function really, really contributed to emerge a lot of beautiful, sophisticated techniques and designs. So, and then, so Vasco da Gama landed in Calicut, the south part of India, Kerala, and that Calicut is a port, and that is the original port which export the cotton to the European countries. And from that, CALICO was named. So, and in 17th century, the East India Company started, and CALICO was exported to China, Southeast Asia, Japan as well. And the reign of Jahangir, and CALICO with flowery motif and the king curve brocade used as a wall hanging and the bedspread, and these kind of things are really, really boomed. Then, so at that time, European people wear just woolen material or silk material or linen. So these people are really, really threatened. So they pressured the government, and so import of CALICO was banned in 1700. So, but the East India Company also pressured them. Then only the plain fabric was allowed to export, so from a European side, import. Then, so print industry allows in England, Manchester. So I believe it's a starting point of liberty or things, right? And, but after that, usage of CALICO also banned. So CALICO was such huge influence to the European world as well. And this is a kind of king curve brocade, and CALICO. So CALICO, so the chains, it's started by the brocade kind, but when they started the mass production, it becomes the block print, wooden block print, then after silk screen print. So, and once it's becoming the mass production, so they utilize for the garments. And very similar patterns can be found in Europe today as well. And also this kind exported to Japan. So many samurai, maharajas at the time collected this kind and appreciated as a wall hanging and using like a liner of the kimono. And many of tea masters, they really love to collect the fragments. And these are called kowatari sarasa. And it is considered super fashionable to use this kind. And some samurais, they really liked and ordered the Japanese design, like the right side. And also they developed their own. But what really impacted us is so Karasantome, Tozan in Edo period. So like Koike Sensei referred in this afternoon, so we had a big appreciation toward the striped cotton fabrics. But originally these are imported from Santome, south part of India. It's very, very near to Chennai, Madras. And Santome is a place renowned for the ended place of St. Thomas. So, and St. Thomas becoming Santome, and the local people call that place Santome. And we Japanese also call this kind as a Santome. And originally this kind imported through China and to Japan. So, but in Edo period, so we have a closed market, and we have only the small open port in Nagasaki, Dejima. And through that place, we imported through Dutch VOC, East India Company. So this is really, really hit the market, especially the samurais or the fashionista at the time really like to wear this kind. And many ukiyo-e painter draw these patterns. So then many part of Japan try to make a very similar kind. Only after that, they start the big production of cotton and start weaving the original cotton. Of course, they try to make a very similar design with this. That becoming our shima, so striped cottons, which was mentioned by the Koike sensei in the keynote. So it's really interesting to find out, right? So even today, some area in Japan tried making this kind of things, revitalizing this kind of fabrics, like Aizu or Ise or some places, and we CALICO collaborating with this and having the events jointly. And one is Yama Sangyo, which is run by Nana Yamazaki, and we are always having the dialogue and the event and try to tell the story like this. So coming back to the history, and so 18th, there's an industrial revolution, and so India becoming the very important key place for the great powers, and exploitation had started, and so it's a little bit complicated, and I can't go through all. But so during that moment, so Gandhi came up, and he was a lawyer, attorney, in the beginning, and wear the suits. But he took off and burned, and wear the khadi. He started using the word khadi. It was a hand-spun handloom one, and using the charka as a symbol of that movement. And it's really worked. So, and he said, khadi is not just a cloth, it's a thought. So he's leading the people by the thought and presenting the concept of khadi and charka. So, and the significant decrease of import goods was happened in 1920 to 1921, almost half. So, and after independence, so still India tried to keep this kind of concept, and it's becoming the very rare country who has a ministry of textiles. It's quite rare, right? So, but today, so they are using charka too much, from my perspective, at the Delhi airport and the center of Connaught Press. They are constructing very big charka as a symbol. Yes. But so what happened in the village? So village today. So they are using the amber charka, which was introduced 10 years back, and it's so this has a more efficiency than the single charka, Gandhi charka. So by one turn, they can make the 8 cones at a time, and from this, they can earn enough income to sustain their livelihood. So some people said, oh, this is not khadi, this is not hand spun. But so believe it's a kind of fundamentalism. So we can't push the ideal to them. So this is today's chauka, I believe. And when I enter the village, also I can see this kind of wheels. Firstly, these look like a bicycle shop. Okay. And but these are wheel chauka. These are also used today. And aging, so master weavers. So these weavers are now getting old, and they are suffering to find successors. For instance, he's a great master, but his son is entered the IT sector and constructed a very big building. So people witness this kind, then how people encourage to get their children, so becoming the weavers. So now we reached today's theme, and so what can we do for success in textile heritage to the next generation? Rejuvenation versus preservation. Yes, so, but I'm already preparing the answers, don't worry. And for me, rejuvenation and the preservation is very same. And so I will show what is. And from tradition, making new concept. So I want to show the Rabari project. So I have a project with Kutchi artisans. Kutchi is west part of Gujarat. And Rabari is one of the community. We don't say tribe, they are community. And they have this kind of embroidery tradition. Also, they are wearing so they are cattle herder, and they are making the wool products as well. So, and so due to the time constraint, I can't tell all the story, but there's already the system to collaborate. They are very co-independent in making the textiles. And I try to do the very same, and using the indigenous cotton in that place called Kara cotton. And so collaborating with the weaver community, bankers, and ask them to weave the material. And so consider what is their original color, because for them, color is really matter for the desert people. So, and but today, what we can see is just the flashy colors. But I try to retrieve the original color of them, and I use the wastage of ajrak and so natural dye colors, and ask Rabari community ladies to develop their own design. So this is a Rabari project. So, and the people consider this more traditional than before, than they expected. So this is one case. And the Jamudani project, so I have some garments, this kind, very, very light muslin material, and try to use the very traditional motifs, but making something different, new, and making enough density to make garments, and little bit change in the color to suit to the market sometimes. So, and the same place, we are developing the khadi a lot, and sometimes we are utilizing the rejected pieces, and because sometimes they believe it's not good for the market, but we found it's really good. So, and today I couldn't bring here, but I'm wearing tomorrow. I want to explain tomorrow. So, and just. And also we do Kuwatari Sarasa project. It's taken long time, and we are developing the sesame pattern, gomade pattern. So at the time they made by hand print, but now we are making the brass block and trying to make the new thing. But I can't show the real material here. And some new so classic design, which they already abandoned, but we try to retrieve. And the Benkejima project, and this is also part of the stripe and check series. And so the gingham check, many people found it's some Western or very, very universal things. But it is also from India, and it was boomed in Edo period. And the Benkei is a very masculine icon in Edo period, and the very important character in Kabuki as well. And at the time, the ladies consider it's very, very cool to wear Benkejima, the strong, so looking. And I try to revive the very same concept here. So, and next, throwing fundamentalism. So, it sounds very radical, but not really. So here's the case of Indigo Sutra. The event happened last year in Kolkata. Many indigo-related artists, textile lovers, researchers, and indigo producers, they all joined and celebrated and appreciated indigo. So, and what is unique is there's no big concept. What is a journey or what is true? So in my country, so especially indigo dye, they always saying, oh, this is a journey, this is not. But indigo or textile is not things like that. And each people bringing their own concept, own technique, and appreciate each other. That is the ideal situation. And when I talking about this event to the indigo dyers, young indigo dyers in Japan, they always really, really envy. So I just wanted to show this. And so this kind of things now starting a lot in India, not only the indigo dye. It's I feel it's starting a new era of the textile. And living blue. So this was referred by Sharon as well, and I also collaborating with them since 2014, and I'm introducing the indigo material to the market. So, and maybe I need to skip because she already, and but I will tell you later if you are interested in. And Onam by Archana. So she's a person who traveled to New York when she was 15, and so before she's seeing the city, big city in India, she went to New York and opened her eyes. Then she started this project. Since then, and it's really, really encouraged the people. And this is her work. So the skyscraper of New York is like so Taj Mahal, and so Statue of Liberty looks like the Indian lady, so wearing sari. So and she's a big change in the village. And there's a quote of the Gandhi, so be the change which you want to see in the world. So she's the first one. So, and this kind of things is really needed in the village. And the very lovely that I mentioned, so I will skip this. But so they stopped to, I'm stopped talking, sorry. So they stopped to making the new things for their wedding purpose. Because they, for this event, they are missing the opportunity to get married. So their old ladies banned to the young generation to do the same, and they do only the new concept development. So, and make craft persons face market. So this is a case of catch show in Osaka this year. So we brought 16 artisans, and they interacted and with the customers directly and did the workshop. It was great. So they learned a lot of things. So, and for half of people, they for the first time travel experience. So, and the design bank and the open design. So this is a case of Sujan. Actually, I'm not engaged in this project, but I just helped them exhibit in Osaka, the gallery, and translated all the text into Japanese. And so when the big earthquake happened in Kutch in 2001, they collected the fund and started a design center on wheel project. And visited each and every village and collected small fragments and collected information of the old techniques from the old generations, and made more than 1,000 of panels, and it becoming the design bank. So last. So, and we just started the Chisana Nuno no Kai Design Lab at my atelier in New Delhi, and also collaborating with our customers who are using my materials, my fabrics. They are always coming back with their works when I have an exhibition in Japan. So likewise, so we do so designing ecosystem to innovate new tradition and boost it. So largely we do this kind of things, and we are collaborating with Ministry of Textiles, cooperative, NGOs, artisans, also designers. So I'm representing Maku, the designer from Kolkata in Japan, also representing the Living Room in Japan, and having the exhibition in galleries and the shops, and so telling the story like this. And also collaborating with the fashion designers and fabric makers. So this kind of things we do. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Fumie, for the presentation, also sharing with us all the beautiful fabrics on the table.